Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So today I thought we could do this painting together. It only took 20 minutes and it's in acrylics. I have struggled myself with depression and anxiety over the course of probably 10 years now, and is actually the reason why I started painting in the first place. What I wanted to do was create a little place on the internet where we can all paint together, and it will be a safe place where we can feel and express our emotions. So whether you're painting along or you're just going to sit and watch it with a cup of tea, I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. And if you're not already, come and say hi over on Instagram. It'd be lovely to meet you. And anyway, let's crack on and get into this painting. So the colours that we'll be using today is titanium white, cadmium red light, burgundy, pale yellow, ultramarine blue, and Paynes grey. And the brush I'll be using is a Winsor & Newton Winton short flat bright in size 8. So first of all, I'm just going to map out where we want the mountains to be. So I'm using quite a thin layer of paint here so that it dries quickly, because as I say, we're not actually going to paint the mountains now. This is just a very basic outline so that we know where they're going to go. Okay, and when we've done that, just rinse your brush out. Next we're going to work on the sky, so if you take some titanium white and mix it with a little bit of the pale yellow. You don't need a lot of yellow here, it's quite a strong colour, and we want this lovely pastel yellow. So I'm going to start pasting that into the sky. So now I'm going to take a bit of cadmium red and just add that to that mixture that we've got. And it's going to create this gorgeous peach tone. I absolutely love this colour. I think it's really important when we're painting to use colours that make us happy, because if we're painting for mental health and we're looking at the colours that make us feel happy, it's going to have a massive impact on our well-being. So now I'm just going to blend that out by using mini brush strokes along the lines, just to blend out that harsh line. And you can repeat this process for as long as you want or need to. Next I'm going to go back in with some cadmium red, and I'm just going to take that line a little bit further out. Don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly the same, you can alter it to however you like. We're just working on a sky right now, so it's very forgiving. And just like before, I'm just blending that out with my brush. So next for the outer layer, I'm going to take some burgundy and I'm going to add that to the cadmium red mixture. And this is just going to give it a bit more of a pinky tone, and we're going to use this along the outskirts of what we've just done. If we're struggling with depression, then oranges and reds are really good for that, because they bring a sense of home and warmth, and they can really just brighten you up. I find it's so interesting how different colours can have different effects on our mental health. So whatever you're feeling, just do a quick Google of what colour would be best suited for you. So here I'm using burgundy and white, and I'm just going to fill in the other areas with this colour. And you can paint the sides as well. A lot of people ask me whether I paint the sides on my paintings, and usually I do, just because I feel like it sort of blends in then and you can't really even notice that there is a side. But it's completely up to you and there are no rules. So I'm just going to paste that in and sort of blend in as I go. And I'm using my paint quite thickly here, as I find that the best blends are when you use paint that is quite thick. And I'm also going to leave mine with visible brush strokes, because personally that's what I really like to see. I like to see a brush stroke, but if you like it more blended, then feel free to blend it out further. I feel like I want to take this yellow section out a little bit more, so I'm just going to, using my white and yellow, just take that out a little bit. So now I want to start working on the reflections in the lake. So I'm going to take that orange colour that we was using before. If it's dried up, it's just the cadmium red light and the burgundy. So really just a case of reflecting the same colours that we've just used for the sky. So to add a bit more vibrancy, I'm going to add in some more cadmium red light. And I'm adding that in quite boldly here. And also I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow to that to really just bring that yellow in. And here you can sort of play around with whatever colours you want to. I'm using a mixture of the burgundy to fill in basically all around what we've just done, but it's completely up to you. I am going to add in quite a thick line of burgundy here just to reinforce the horizon line. And to add in a little bit of contrast, I'm going to take some burgundy mixed with a bit of Paynes grey. And I'm just going to create a darker colour now to fill in sort of the corners and some little areas in the painting. Now, just using a mixture of the cadmium red and burgundy, I'm just going to fill in the few areas left. And in this little section I'm going to add some white, mixed with the burgundy. And I might add a little bit of the yellow as well, just to warm it up a bit. And yeah, that's going to be just sort of like the highlight. And we're going to add some more reflections in later, but this is going to be a really nice base for those reflections. So let's get started on the mountains. I'm going to use a mixture of the burgundy and the Paynes grey. And I'm just going to paint the sides first while we're here. So I'm just going to take that in from the side, and I don't want to do the whole mountains. In fact, I'm going to add a bit more Paynes grey just to make it a little bit darker. And I'm just going to take that across the horizon line. Using brush strokes, we can create the illusion of trees. So I'm just going to go up and down on the line. And this is sort of like a little impressionistic tip, and we're not going to do it completely looking at the reference photo and doing it detail by detail. We're just going to use the brush to give the suggestion of it rather than very realistic. So I'm going to take some of that mixture and pop it with some white. And here I'm just going to start mapping in the mountains again. This is the bit where we can really create the shape that we want. And I really like the flat edge brush because you can use it to create shapes. Okay, so taking a little bit more white and adding it to that mixture, I'm just going to use the brush again. Oh, that was a mistake. I'm just going to use a brush again to add some more texture and sort of again give the illusion of mountains. I'm using quite big brush strokes to add interest and again give it that impressionistic feel. You can use the edge of your brush to create lines. You can use the flat edge of your brush. So we've added quite a lot of white, so I want to warm it up a little bit. So I'm going to take some burgundy and I'm going to add just a little bit of that more cadmium red mixture just to warm it up a bit. And again, just very loosely and suggestively, I'm just going to add a few shadows here and there. Again, to sort of just give the suggestion and illusion of a background. And now to add the finishing touches, I'm going to take some burgundy and some Paynes grey. And to bring the contrast up, we're going to add some trees. So just using the edge of the brush. And I'm going to dot on some trees and just use little brush strokes here and there. So I'm only really loosely looking at the reference photo here. And it's really nice that while the paint is still wet, you can sort of blend it into the paint. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the trees along the horizon again. And just adding a few little details here and there. Next I'm going to take that lighter colour, which was just burgundy mixed with white, and using the edge of my brush I'm going to add in a very thin faint line just underneath that. And this is going to be the reflection on the water. And it really just makes the mountain stand out a little bit more. So to tie it together, let's add some more reflections into the water. So I'm going to take some of the cadmium red light, some burgundy, and a little bit of the yellow. And using the edge of my brush, just using a backwards and forwards motion, I'm going to add in some waves and little reflections. This is just going to bring it to life a little bit more and just add some more detail and interest. Now I'm going to add some lighter ones, so I'm going to take some of the yellow and some white to make a lighter version of that. And I'm going to do exactly the same, just pick up some little highlights. So next I'm going to take the burgundy and I'm going to do the same thing. I actually really like this bit because I feel like it just completely brings it all together and really brings it to life. Okay, so now I'm going to create like a peachy shade with white mixed with the cadmium red light. And I'm going to add in just this section here, which is going to be a reflection of the sky. And I'm going to blend that out. Then I'm going to take some of the burgundy and I'm just going to blend that in from the side. And also just blend it in from the bottom too. So next I'm going to take a little bit of the ultramarine blue and mix that with a bit of the burgundy. And I'm just going to add in some more contrasting colours and they're going to just really pop next to the yellow. This is obviously a reflection of the mountain itself. I'm also going to take that colour down in the corners and the bottom of the canvas too. So make sure you rinse your brush off really well, and then we're going to take the very edge of the paintbrush with some Paynes grey, and we're going to add in again the horizon line very, very thinly just underneath the white line. I'm just going to bring that slightly down on the edge. Okay, and then rinse your brush out. So now for the final touch, we're going to use a tiny detail brush. This is actually a brush used for painting models like aircrafts and things, but it's really thin and I also use it to sign as well. So give it a little rinse so it's just a bit damp, and I'm going to take some Paynes grey and we're going to add in some tiny little birds just to give it a great perspective and add a little bit of interest. Yay, well done guys, we did it. Thank you so much for watching this video and choosing this one to paint along to. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I have so many different painting tutorials now, so I will list them all in the description box. There might be one that you've missed. And happy painting, have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye!